This is Aviation Questions with Kaity, where I answer questions from my DMs that are going to take me way too long because I talk too much to answer in the DMs. I have had mentors throughout my pilot career that have always been there for me to answer some of these tough questions that you run into along the way. And now it is my turn to give back, and it is your turn to give back. So all of you in the comments need to give this person your response as well of what you would do in this situation. So first up out of the mailbox today, we have Ryan, who says, "Hi, Kaity, I have a question for you. I have set aside about $12,000 to spend just on flying and have 780 total time, 58 multi-engine so far. Option number one, spend $9,000 to go get CFI with no job lined up, only get about 10 hours from it. Option two, use that to build my total time to about 1,050 and have about 75 multi-engine hours and keep applying for jobs. Option three, go back to working corporate, make way more money than what I could make flying right now and self-pay till I hit 1,500 to 2,000 hours, or get picked up by a 135 91 gig. Thank you for your time." Now, I haven't personally spoken to Ryan, but my husband has been texting him a little bit because they kind of come from similar military backgrounds and they're becoming bros. So I have a little bit more background on Ryan. Ryan was, I believe, a Marine, if not some other form of military, but he's a military veteran who then worked in corporate America, and I believe he was making multiple six figures in that job. He really was not passionate about that and didn't see himself doing it forever, so he switched to becoming a pilot, and now he has been working as a jump pilot for a while, which he has loved. However, the plane has now been crashed that he was working in, and he is out of a job. He did not crash the plane, as a side note. So this is where he is, and he's trying to figure out which way to go. I would like to have a small soapbox here for those of you that have multiple six-figure corporate jobs that want to become a pilot. This is not about Ryan because I feel like he knows himself and he's made choices that are going to be more fulfilling for him in the long run. And he has weighed the cost analysis of money versus happiness, etc. However, I have had so many people, anesthesiologists, doctors, dentists, tell me that they want to become a pilot, and I think that's a little ridiculous, if I'm being completely honest. I think that it is romanticizing aviation to a point that may not be true. And I think that you really don't know that aviation at some point will just become a job to you. And you may not be as happy in it as you think you will be. So if you're someone who has a multiple six-figure job, I'm not sure that the grass is greener on the other side. Now, I am very happy with aviation. I am very positive towards aviation in general. However, there's a joke where pilots will say, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, so I work a 6 a.m. to a 10 p.m. instead as a pilot. And that is very true, although it's said tongue-in-cheek. So just a little bit of a soapbox to say maybe the grass is greener on the other side. Ultimately, in life, fulfillment is really found in serving other people. So if you're not fulfilled in your job, maybe you need to be fulfilled outside of your job, regardless of whether it's a pilot or something else. Anyways, off my soapbox now and back to Ryan. So option number one, spend $9,000 to get my CFI with no job lined up and only about 10 hours from it. So the first thing I think when I read this is, why are we spending $900 an hour to get a CFI? Now, I understand there's probably a course along with that. There's probably the written tests and things like that. But I still think $9,000 to get a CFI is absurd when you are already a commercial pilot with an instrument rating. I don't know where that number comes from, and I don't like it. So I am a very strong proponent of the CFI, but we're just going to table option one for a minute, and those are my initial thoughts. Option number two, pay to time build. I hate this option so much. I can't even explain how much I hate it. Do not do this. There is no point. Option number three, go back to working corporate and make way more money, blah, 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 self-pay to 1,500 hours. Okay, so here's the thing that I would do. Number one, it sounds like you're really happy as a jump pilot. So try to keep being a jump pilot somewhere else. Now, we are going into winter, so that might be really hard, and you might have to move all over the country to do this, and it may not be an option. But I would first knock on every single door. You are a Marine, you are smart, you know how to do hard things. So call everybody and get someone on the phone and ask for jobs and go on Facebook groups and really put this to bed before you do anything else. But if you really decide I cannot find another jump pilot job right now, then here's what I would do. I would personally go back to the corporate America job. I would get my CFI on the side very quickly. and I would continue to be a CFI and a jump pilot on the weekends while working in corporate America. The low time pilot market right now is rough. And I think the 1,500 hour pilot market right now is not super much better. So it is a really good time to have a fallback job. And it sounds like you do, which is awesome. I don't know the details of this corporate job. I don't know if you have no free time outside of it, but I would imagine there's some. And I would imagine that if you really want to hustle for the next year or two, you could continue to work as a pilot while having this bucket of cash dumped over your head from this other job, which would be awesome. So if it was me, I would go to corporate job. I would make a bunch of money doing that, but I would not just self-pay the 1,500 hours. I would work as a CFI, continue to time build. You'll probably have enough extra cash that you can still go do fun flying on your own and continue to love aviation, but continue to also work as a jump pilot on Saturdays and Sundays. That might be the best of all worlds. Now, you're probably going to have to move to do this, or maybe you have to be in a certain location for this corporate job. I don't know the details of that. So that's my ideal scenario right there. Now, if that is not an option, so if you can't be a jump pilot still, option one, if you can't do the corporate route and be a CFI and a jump pilot still, then I would get the CFI and I would find a job and just grind it out to 1,500 hours. I do not like the idea of you just paying till 1,500 hours because a lot of employers don't think that's very valuable flight time. So if you can't find a jump pilot job and just keep doing what you like doing right now, I would go back to corporate America, because either way, if you're going to be a CFI or you're going to be a corporate person, like, CFI is a rough life, my friend, and you're probably not going to make enough to cover your bills and live. It's just like kind of a time builder. To me, the best case scenario is do this corporate job so you have money coming in. You can build that money up, and you can also, like I said, just pay to go do fun flying trips, take your girlfriend or your friend or whoever on like an adventure for the weekend and get good flight time. But also work as a pilot. Like, employers don't want to see that you just paid for 1,500 hours. Like, they would rather see that you worked as a CFI because it looks like valuable flight time to them compared to even a jump pilot flight time. So of the three options that you have given me, I would choose option 3. However, I really do want to also question option 1 about the $9,000 to get a CFI, because that just does not check out to me, and I'm not sure why that would be valuable to spend that much on a CFI. Either way, I really highly suggest getting your CFI, your II, and your MEI. It is really important to have, and it's easier to have them right now when you're a lower time pilot than to go back when you're like a FedEx captain trying to go get your CFI. Like, just do it right now and just have them forever and never let them expire. There are also some SIC jobs that you might be able to get in the next 300 to 400 hours. So I would go to the corporate job just to have money coming in and just to be like able to breathe a little bit, stack some more cash, and then from there go into what your next move is in the next like 6 to 12 months. So I know like in Idaho, there's a company that hires Pilatus SIC at about 1,000 hours total time. You know, they don't pay great, but they pay enough to live. And then you're able to log the Part 91 legs. So there's options out there for those SIC gigs, and you're very close to that point. But especially if you're trying to do all of this debt-free, I like the idea of having that corporate job just to kind of have a big paycheck coming in. You don't have to do it forever. Like, you could just do it for 6 months or something and continue to fly during that time, get the CFI and get the II and the MEI. Like, just have them and have them forever. Anyways, that's my response. I am a big proponent of having the CFI. I'm a big proponent of not just paying to time build. Employers don't like that. It doesn't mean as much to them as, you know, time that you have built working as a professional pilot. And I also just think there's really no reason to do that. And I hate the idea of spending $9,000 on a CFI. So those are my thoughts. I hope this is helpful. Please feel free to ask more questions if this was not helpful. I tend to ramble quite a bit. You can ask my husband, but these are just my thoughts. And this is what I would tell you if we were sitting down in my kitchen having a slice of my homemade bread and chatting about aviation. All of you in the comments, please put what you think this person should do, and let's all help them out. This is a moment where we can all give back, and we have a wealth of knowledge on this channel So let's help Ryan out and give him advice so that he can make the best decision for him right now. And if you have a question if you would like to have a question on Questions with Kaity, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram or comment on YouTube, and I will see if we can help you out. Thanks for watching, guys.